YouTube, we are officially halfway through the 2025 NBA season, and in this video, I want to discuss the hot topic of who is the best NBA team. Almost every season by this point, we pretty much have a clear-cut favorite where everyone could say, oh, that's the best team in the NBA. Not this season. In my opinion, there are three teams that have a pretty equal case to be made as far as the best team in the NBA this season, and that is the Oklahoma City Thunder, the Boston Celtics, and the Cleveland Cavaliers. I think you could make a good case for any of them. And this video is not really about me trying to convince you guys of who I think the best team is out of the three. Instead, I'm going to be making the case for all three teams of why I think each one of them could be the best. And at the end of the video, I will give my take on it. But these are the three teams, right? Like, let's be honest, the only other teams I could see anyone even trying to make a case for are the New York Knicks, maybe the Memphis Grizzlies or the Houston Rockets, but I just don't think they're on the same level as the three teams I mentioned. So without further ado, let's start making the case for each team. Let me know down in the comment section before I even do that, who do you think out of the three teams is the best in the NBA? Maybe you think that someone else is, but please let me know down below. I am very curious to hear your guys' feedback. And we're going to start with the Cleveland Cavaliers. And the Cavs have been dominant all season. They are just shooting the lights out. They have about two players, maybe even three or four, definitely two all-NBA caliber players in Donovan Mitchell and Evan Mobley. They are playing absolutely amazing basketball as a unit. Kenny Atkinson has made a major impact on this team for the positive. They play a selfless brand of basketball. Everybody gets their opportunity, and they have been making the most of it as a group. They've just been dominant, flat out. They have, taken the Eastern Conference by storm, the second best point differential in the NBA with, a plus 10 differential, and they have shown zero signs of stopping their winning dominance in the Eastern Conference. And the case I think you could make for the Cavs is that, for one, they have split their matchup with the OKC Thunder, and so they've beaten the Thunder before. They've also lost to them, but it's not like they've been blown out of the water by the Thunder. That is a good case. I know it's a 2-game sample size, but that is a good case to be made. They're second in the NBA in, team field goal percentage. They are second in the NBA in three-pointers made per game, first in the NBA in three-point percentage, fifth in the league in team assists per game. They rarely turn the ball over. They're currently fifth in the league in turnovers. They're actually a really good defensive team, 11th in opposing points per game. They are 10th in opposing three-pointers made, so they guard the three-point line pretty well. And actually, they are fifth in the league in opposing three-point percentage. There's a lot of stats I could give you guys about how dominant the Cavs have been, but one of the more important things about being a great team is just the level of consistency the Cavs have played with throughout the entire season. They have really been right up there with the Thunder in terms of consistency. I mean, they just play their game every single night, and they haven't gone through any rough stretches, throughout the season pretty much. They have been so locked in, game to game. There's just a case to be made that, even though they might play in the Eastern Conference, and that could be a knock on them as far as the Thunder, in a lot of areas, they are right up there with OKC. They can beat you on the inside with their big bruising bigs. They can dominate you from the outside because of their, explosive three-point shooting and offense. They hardly turn the basketball over. There's so many players that can get hot on this team and just shoot the lights out. Donovan Mitchell, Darius Garland, Evan Mobley playing awesome offensive basketball this season. Ty Jerome has been absolutely lethal from beyond the arc. They're just getting so much out of so many guys, and they've done a lot of it without, one of their best players and Max Strus for most of the season. My case for the Cavs would be, this is not a situation where if you shut down the team's best player or second best player, you give Garland or Mitchell a ton of issues. Like, they can still absolutely blow you off the floor with a lot of other players. They're incredibly talented. They have extremely defined roles on both ends of the floor. They protect the paint really well. They protect the three-point line really well, and they just score in bunches. I mean, this team is explosive offensively, as I said, arguably the best offense in the entire league. I think they are top three, no question. Their defense has been really good. They absolutely have the star power to go toe-to-toe with anyone on any given night. Donovan Mitchell capable of 30 any night on good efficiency. Garland is going to get the team rolling with the assists. Evan Mobley on both ends of the floor, he's one of the most impactful defenders that we have in this league. The Cavs are just a nightmare to play against on any given night. They can beat you in any aspect of the game, but most of the time it's just going to be shooting. I mean, they're, arguably the best three-point shooting team in the league this year across the board. And so you guys can make up your own mind on this, but I just think the Cavs have a legit case to be made for the best team in the NBA this season. This is not by any means a one-trick pony of a team, right? They have so many different dynamic areas of their team that they can beat you with. And so for that reason, I have to put the Cavs up here as potentially the best team in the league. You guys can decide that. Moving on to the Oklahoma City Thunder. The Thunder, I think this is the most versatile team, roster-wise that we have in this league. Another team that's just going to dominate you on, both both areas of the game, offense and defense. They have a player that I think might win MVP this season, and at this point in the season probably should, right? And that's Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, certainly a top 5 talent, probably in the entire world. One of the best defensive teams I've seen in a long time. I mean, some of the best perimeter defense is played in OKC in the NBA. Currently, first in the entire NBA in opposing points per game. They hold opponents to the lowest field goal percentage in the league. They guard the three-point line better than anyone. They hold opponents to the worst three-point percentage in the league. And despite being pretty average from the three-point line as a group, they are top 10 in team points per game. Their turnover differential is insane. They only turn the ball over 11 times per game, and they create so many turnovers on the defensive end. They are by far the best turnover differential team in the league. It's not even close, actually. But like I said, probably the most versatile roster. Oh, and did I mention they're doing most of this without their second best player this season, Chet Holmgren, who has been out for a very long time. Oh, and did I mention they play in the Western Conference, where, basically it is an absolute free-for-all. Almost every single night, this team is going to be playing an above 500 team. Best point differential in the league. They protect home court incredibly well, just like the Cavs. It's just a really tough place to play in OKC. I mean, again, 1 through 5, incredibly versatile. To be able to be this great without having your second best player, maybe third best player on the floor, Chet Holmgren, it just really doesn't make sense, and it kind of seems unfair. The Thunder, in my opinion, are the most accomplished team through the halfway mark of the season. Given the context, the Thunder play in the West. They've been down a top 3 player for most of the year, and to still be where they are, it's crazy. And if we gave trophies away for halfway through the regular season champions, it would be the Thunder, no question for me. So they have a very legitimate case. This is a team that I think if you polled the entire NBA community, the entire NBA viewership, I think probably a majority of them would say the Thunder are the best team in the league right now, and you couldn't necessarily disagree that much. It's tough not to see this team and the way they performed with the situation they're in and really disagree with that statement that they're the best team in the league. And so I think there's a great case to be made for the Thunder. I just made it. But again, best record doesn't always mean best team. If I'm looking at this from a lens of, I got to take this team in 7 games, which team do I want to play the least? Which team is the best team for a 7-game series? I know it's not quite that simple, right? It's not just 7 games in a playoff series. It's more like the entire picture combined, right? And the entire picture looks almost flawless for the Thunder, I gotta tell you. Moving on to the Boston Celtics, and this team, you could say, well, Dehave, again, the record, the Celtics are actually not really that close record-wise to the Cavs or the Thunder. In fact, they're 5.5 games behind the Cavs in the Eastern Conference, and they do play in the Eastern Conference, right? You might be saying, well, you just picked them because they're the reigning champs, and I get where you're coming from, but hear me out a little bit, okay? I think most people would probably agree that the Boston Celtics, they're kind of coasting a little bit at this point in the season, right? They've also been down Kristaps Porzingis for a good chunk of the season. That's a big impact player for them. They've been banged up here and there, but for the most part, I think it's fair to say that this team is just not taking the regular season as serious as the Thunder and Cavs, and whether you think that's a good thing or a bad thing, not really what I'm talking about, but at the end of the day, I think that's what they're doing. I think it's pretty obvious that, if this team, when they want to turn it on, they are as good as anybody, in my opinion. It's really not up for debate. Like, if we're going to say the Thunder are the most versatile team, the Celtics are 1B, right? They are right up there in terms of versatility across their roster. Of course, we know about the 2 great wings that they have, but talk about perimeter defense. I mean, they are basically switchable 1 through 5 with, even without Porzingis on the floor, they can just shoot the lights out of the building. They're as explosive as any offense in the league. That includes the Cavs, arguably another team that you could say maybe is the best 3-point shooting team, and they take more than anybody. They defend the paint, they defend the perimeter, 2 all defense guards on their roster, and there's so many players that can kill you on this team. We're talking about Peyton Pritchard and the year he's had. I mean, what a breakout stud for the Celtics this year. Peyton Pritchard's unbelievable. When he gets hot, he's a handful from beyond the arc, and Derek White is a marksman from out there. When Tatum gets hot, I mean, you can't have any lead safe when you're playing against the Celtics. You could be up 20, you're still not safe. I don't care. They're going to give you a barrage from the 3-point arc. It's just going to be bombs away. That is guaranteed to happen pretty much every Celtics game. And my case again for the Celtics is just that, when this team decides that they want to play, to their maximum capabilities, they're as good as anyone and potentially even better. And so, we could look at all the numbers, we could look at their record. I don't think it's that, serious for the Celtics, the record and stuff like that for the regular season. We saw it last year. They dominated the entire league from start to finish, okay? And they have an opportunity to do that again in the playoffs this year. And like I said, at full strength, this team, there's no question, they're right up there with the Cavs and the Thunder. And I would not want to play the Celtics. I don't care who it is. I don't care if I'm the Thunder, if I'm the Cavs, at any point in the playoffs. But, I think the Cavs are going to have to go through the Celtics if they want to make the finals, and vice versa for the Celtics. And so that'll be a great series. Hopefully we can get that, with everybody at full strength. But like I said, Boston's coasting, and when they want to turn it on, they are still them, okay? That's pretty much it for all three teams and all their cases. Now I'm going to give my take, and it might not be a very popular one, but I do still think until we're proven otherwise, we have to say the Celtics are the best team in the league, all right? If you said who has been the best team in the regular season so far, it's the Thunder. It's the Thunder or the Cavs. It's really one or the other. I would probably say the Thunder, given they play harder competition and they have, maybe the MVP of the league, and Chet Holmgren's been down for so long. I'd probably say the Thunder with the Cavs with a close second, and then the Celtics third. But if I had to, if you had to give me money on the line and say, who you taking, Cavs, Celtics, or Thunder, in whatever series it is, I might have to go with the Celtics, man. They are just so good when they decide to play at their best, and everybody's healthy, including Porzingis. I know it's not been the picture perfect season so far that it was for them last year, but I still think we have to give them that benefit of the doubt until proven otherwise. This is the team to beat, and we've seen that throughout the season. We've seen that when they really try, they're still as good as they were last year. Okay, the argument would be that the Thunder have gotten a lot better, and the Celtics kind of stayed the same. The Cavs have gotten a lot better, and the Celtics stayed the same. And so I could hear a case. Listen, I'm not saying I'm 100% right. That's just my take. You don't have to agree with it. Please let me know down in the comments what you think about my take in this video. Who do you think out of the three teams is the best in the NBA? Or do you think it's a team I didn't cover? Do you think it's the Knicks? Do you think it's the Bucks? Do you think it's the, Memphis Grizzlies or the Houston Rockets, or, maybe even someone else? Let me know all that down in the comments. I'd love to hear your feedback. But for me, it's the Celtics. I just think how quickly people forget, right? Because they're not the top seed in the East. All that's fine and dandy until you get into the playoffs. You have to go into TD Garden and survive that absolute barrage of three-pointers and that impeccable defense from all five players. That's it for the video. Hopefully you guys did enjoy. Leave a like if you did enjoy it. Really helps out the channel, and subscribe for more awesome content just like this. I want to definitely see you guys return to the channel, because we're going to be uploading stuff like this all the time on this channel, and I'm really trying to make something great out of it. So please leave a like, subscribe, and comment, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. This has been Who is the Best Team in the NBA 2025 edition. This is your boy D Haven. As always, peace.